Cooper, and PCLE. Cooper's been a police officer for a couple of years now. I actually licensed his team some while ago. And Paul is Royal Marines veteran and saw the lights during the police service for his sins.
Oh, you
A
know.
very capable dog, a very capable chief.
He's excited.
Look,
He's like, what are you doing?
If the dog does anybody near anybody, all you have to do is stand still and that Paul will deal with it. Well, that guy's a bit suspicious there. He's obviously unhappy that the wheels here are performing.
Get the dog off me!
As you can see, the dog's moved forward, so the safe of the handler. And it's taking the subject on the right arm. The reason we choose the right arm is because the majority of the public in this country are right-handed. So we try to take the weapon hand away from the subject for the dog's safety.
Go back! Hey!
So there you go again. We've got control with our dogs. And we've got considered human rights compliance. But we don't torture an individual or into the more than necessary. Paul's now going to carry out a search and release the dog in a central position and check to ensure the subject is armed. But at all times he's monitoring his dog because these are living, breathing animals and like all of us, they can make a little mistake. But Paul puts an awful lot of time in on this and training this sort of thing, both when he's on duty, protecting the streets in the Republic of South Wales, and when he's off duty at home. All our dogs live with us, so they really are a big part of our lives. They don't tend to mix with our families, for obvious reasons, as you can see. They tend to be bonded to one handler, and they live with us. We've got kennels and runs for our homes, and the dogs stay with us there. So every single day, Christmas Day, if we're not in work, birthdays, everything, we're out looking after these guys. And they're very, very special animals, and we form a really tight bond with them.
So you know Merlin's house? That used to be a dog owner's house.
Now, what you'll notice is as these exercises progress, when we train, we normally have 3 sort of bites one after the other. So, Kuba may start to become what we call a little bit more sticky, but that's fine, because it's just the dog's natural drive and excitement. We're never cruel to our dogs. The only reason we can get dogs to do what we want them to do is if they enjoy it. Because to them, what we're doing is we're teaching them a game. This game, we teach them that unlike your dogs, they're allowed to like people. So now we've got the bad guy who's managed to get back into his car. And in a little while, when Kuba's nice in the car, which will be sometime next Christmas, we'll set up for the next fight. We try to expose our dogs to as many different scenarios as we can. So obviously in reality the subject wouldn't have been able to walk their back in the car. But now we've got a multi-blind subject who's potentially armed, is threatened to injure police officers if they approach. So we're going to need to get out of that vehicle in a safe manner. You can see he's standing quite close to the dog there, some members of the public, and whilst I don't even try and touch him or anything like that at all, you can see that he's focused on a job in hand, and he's distributed that. So are you ready, Matt?
Hey you! Look at that dog! Look at that dog! Police the dog! Drop the weapon! Drop the weapon! Drop the weapon! The dog will be sent!
I think that car's probably going to need a suspension check after it's posted about there, isn't it? But again, as you see the dog now, which is what we call grip and rip. They rag, they hold on, and they pull away. to immobilise the subject until the hand deems it safe to call the dog off.
Criminal, stand still. Come on!
And that is amongst the best levels of control you're ever likely to see. A dog that's full on engaged with the subject, loving every minute of it, loving his life. All he wants to do is play this game with his new best friend Matt. And yet he's called off and he comes away on the first shot. That's a superb demonstration of control. So the scenario now, again, this demonstrates some of what we do. Again, normally the subject would have been taken into custody, but we'll imagine now that Kuba and Paul have arrived at the scene of the RTC, and the nasty person inside is intent on just doing harm to the officer, and we have what we call an attack on handler, where the subject will run at us, attack us, and try and hurt us. And obviously, because Paul wants to make sure he goes home to his family safe at the end of the shift, then the dog will be deployed for one last bite. Just going to take us a little while. Off we go. Let's have a big round of applause for Kuba then, ladies and gents. Paul's favourite thing is doing displays, so if anybody wants to book in for any other social events and gatherings, he'd be more than happy to come along.
He's got a big crowd on his arm, so
And again, ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause. I mean, to be honest, we were talking about it earlier, we were quite prepared for Kuba to be a little bit sticky, because 3 bites in a row is a lot for a dog, because they just get more and more excited and more ramped up. So Kuba's what we call a general purpose dog, so they track people who run away from vehicles, search open areas and buildings ahead of the handler, people. Guys, can you just give us some space? The dog's going to come out there, and the lady with the dog, if you wouldn't mind, all moving back. The dogs are going to go back up to the van, and we need as much space as we can. They're going to go up the steps by where the young lad is sat there, lovely. With the, yeah, that's it. The dog's going to go up those steps. And he's had a couple of bites, so if you can just make sure we've got plenty of space. We also work with firearms teams, so a dog will be sent ahead of the firearms team with the handler to search for an armed subject, and then they're taught to indicate the presence of that person for the firearms team to move forward in detainment.